Hello, everyone. Welcome to 67th episode of The Ruins of Warsaw. I'm Alexandra, and I'm the storyteller.
Hi, I'm Dolores, and I'm playing Janina of Kambuha.
Hi, my name is Faye, and I'm playing Beatrice Wozniak of Clan Elfic Cavian. I definitely didn't really fuck up my clan there.
And as always, Partners is with us, taking care of tech and the chat. Thank you, Partners, for doing that. So thank you all so much for joining us for another episode in the story of Bea and Janina. We are very happy to have you here with us. And we will, as always, start with a recap of what happened last time. So we began with Janina, who was with Janina at her lab at the hospital with Tremere, Magdalena, whom she brought there to introduce her to helping with that project, and with Janina's ghoul, Hannah, who is learning how to work on that project and gradually being introduced to more of kindred society. They spent some time there. They realized Janina's samples, some of them were spoiled and didn't work out, but Magdalena gave Janina some help with working out how to improve the solution for preserving blood. And at some point during the work, Janina found herself leaving and walking somewhere else, and she walked quite far from the hospital towards the Three Crosses Square, where she met her lover, Nastya, who summoned her there. Janina, who hasn't seen Nastya since the night when Zygmunt died, wanted to catch up, ask Nastya how she was doing, what was going on with her, warn her about the blood hunt. And she managed to share the warning and ask some of the questions, but Nastya really didn't want to talk, avoided it as much as she could, wanting Janina to dance with her, have sex with her, get drunk, and not think about anything and not talk for one night, which Janina followed along somewhat, but still managed to talk about at least some topics with Nastya, who eventually, sobering up a bit, was more willing to engage in conversation. They discussed their future, which seemed uncertain. Nastya offered to take Janina with her just for a night to show her where she was staying. But Janina quite strongly said that she didn't want to join the Sabbat and had no interest in it and would not do it. And instead fantasized about running away with Nastya and other people that she cares about, somewhere away from Camarilla and the Sabbat. They talk about how they might meet, and Nastya seemed pretty comfortable with the spontaneous nature of this meeting and advised Janina to practice being charming and alluring to others so that she can summon her too. They also shared each other's vita during a very intimate moment. And just before they were to separate, to go their own ways, Janina returning to the Camarilla, Nastya returning somewhere to the Sabbat, Janina asked Nastya about Bea's sire, Felicia, if she has seen her, and Nastya confirmed that she has seen her talking to the bishop and that she would try to find out if Felicia was safe. After which, Janina left to go back to Hotel Bristol, suddenly remembering that she left her ghoul with Magdalena at the clinic, and not knowing where to look for her, she decided to go back to the hotel in a hope that Magdalena and Hannah made their way there. Meanwhile, Bea was summoned to speak with the new Tremere primogen, Friedrich Weisinger, who discussed with her her task related to Arek, a gangrel from the Sabbat and previously from Bea's previous coterie, who has been captured, and Bea's efforts to infiltrate the Sabbat somewhat, establish a relationship with them under the pretext of wanting to help Arek. She received various advice regarding beginning to feed the prisoner blood, using all the supplies she could get, including Janina's supply, although she did not want to do that. And also received advice to be decisive in her actions, to not to hesitate, to do things that were necessary in order to succeed, because a lot depended on her task. And she was also instructed to make contact with the Sabbat, something she neglected to do so far. So after the conversation, she immediately headed towards the garrison where she was to leave messages for the Sabbat. And since it was New Year's Eve, she caught some members of the Sabbat having a party. During the party, even before she came to the party, she spoke with the Nosferatu gravedigger, who seems the most interested in cooperating with her on freeing Arek, who asked Bea how he could help, and she arranged with him that he would deliver blood to her to an agreed spot next night, around to be collected around midnight. And she was invited to the party, where she witnessed Florian, the Sabbat pack priest, giving a sermon about how Sabbat should crush Camarilla and feast on the blood of its kindred. And after that, Florian addressed Bea, asking her if she was willing to repent and renounce her ways. And during that conversation, asked if she ever tried the forbidden fruit of diablerie, and if she wanted to, and Bea was tempted but answered no, to which Florian looked at her with disgust and stopped talking to her. After that, she felt very alien, much in contrast to her previous attendance at the Sabbat event, overwhelmed and terrified. She had one conversation before she left with La Sombra, Anita, who questioned Bea's intention, implying that Bea did not seem like the sort of person who would defy her masters. But for whatever reason, she let Bea go. And that was where we ended, with both our kindred coming back to Hotel Bristol. And we will start with Janina. You are returning to the hotel from your unexpected meeting with Nastya, and suddenly remembering Hannah, whom you left, and you don't know where she is right now. And where you were with Nastya is not that far from Hotel Bristol, so you get there fairly quickly. As you enter the lobby, you see that the cafe is closed, but you hear music and laughter and people dancing coming from some other room where you think the New Year's party is being held right now. There are few drunk people just stumbling into the lobby, stepping out there, wandering around, conversing. And as you enter, you see Daniel, who is at the reception talking to the ghoul Mariusz there.
I walk up to Daniel and greet Mariusz and Daniel.
So you walk up to them, and as you are walking up, Daniel turns to you, starts greeting them. And he just looks to you, and there's this mixture of anger and relief on his face. And he says, "There you are."
Oh, yeah, I'm okay. And I just give him a smile and a bit confused. Why is he worried? Like I look at the time, if I have like a watch, how long I was away.
A long time. It took hours.
Okay.
It's not like the very end of the night, but it is getting quite late.
Okay. Have you been worried about me?
No, I just stand here looking out for, I don't know, that drunk guy over there. Come on. And he kind of, not very strongly, but decisively takes you, wraps hand around your arms and starts leading you, not far, just to the balcony where there are different seats.
Okay. I follow him and I try to like be relaxed and fine.
You try to be relaxed. And what are you feeling and thinking?
I didn't expect like him to be worried like the first thing that happens when I get back. So I don't really want to tell him because I know what happened. So I'm trying to quickly think of some explanation. If Hannah and Magdalena like went back here and maybe told him that I just left. So I'm trying to come up with a lie.
So you think on that lie. Daniel sits down like that at one of the tables and gestures with the other hand for you to sit as well.
I sit and did something happen? Is everything okay?
Yes, so that's Tremere, who supposedly works with you now.
Oh yes, Magda.
She came back with your goal and said you disappeared.
Oh,
She said
yeah.
she looked for you around the institute or hospital or whatever it is that you have and you were gone.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna lie and I'm gonna say that I just felt very hungry and I just knew I had to get away and feed, and then I got lost in some celebration, some party.
Roll your manipulation and subterfuge.
I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Spend that willpower.
What should I manipulation and what?
A subterfuge.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh,
It's a botch.
even with willpower.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I have 2 ones, no success, and I was like, so it's a botch.
Yes, it is a botch. So
I wasted
Daniel,
that
who had 2
willpower.
successes, but that's more than a botch, just looks to you and just goes like, mm-hmm, and gives you this concerned look.
Fine. Just
Janina, you and I both know that what you just told me is bullshit.
I give him a sad smile. I guess, yeah. Alright, it's bullshit, but I just don't want to worry you.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Oh yeah, sorry. I don't want to worry you.
Well, I'm worried right now. So tell me,
And I look around if like there isn't like anyone and any other kindred like inside. And then I whisper that I was with Nastya.
And we'll come back to his reaction. Meanwhile, Bea, you are coming back to Hotel Bristol. You have been weeping on the way. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, you didn't say anything. Sorry, it looked like your lips.
I
moved
opened my
for
mouth
some reason.
briefly and
Okay.
then thought better of it.
Sorry, I thought it was a mic malfunction. So you're walking back, weeping, telling yourself that all you're doing is for Arek. And it takes you some time. It's almost like a blur. But eventually you are outside the hotel.
I'd like to activate Mask of 1,000 Faces so that I can look like I haven't been crying, if that's possible.
Yeah, you could. You are obfuscated at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to need to open the door, I presume. I guess I could just wait for someone.
Yeah, I mean, it's minor detail, so, you know.
Either way, I head inside.
Are you using Mask of 1,000 Faces,
I
or
think
are you
so.
staying? Okay.
I think so.
Then roll your what was that? Sorry.
Was it
manipulation and performance?
Yeah.
And spend a blood. Well, no, you want to look at yourself,
Yeah.
so you don't actually spend a blood point.
Okay.
Difficulty 7.
I have 1 success.
1 success. So yes, it's enough to cover the tears and look like yourself otherwise.
I kind of steady myself before walking inside and then step through the front doors.
As you step through the front doors, you see the same scene. There's a couple of drunk people around, music and laughter coming from another room deeper in the building. And as you walk in, you see the ghoul at the reception, kind of making a gesture towards you. Welcome back, Ms. Wozniak.
Thank you. And I'll come up to him.
I've arranged a room for your associate, Mr. Domański. And he gives you the number of the room.
Perfect, thank you.
Told you it would be sorted before you're back.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I hope you're having a pleasant New Year.
I hope every next one will be better than the last one.
Indeed. Well then, I'll not take up any more of your evening, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Ms. Wozniak.
And I'll sort of smile and nod at him and then head up the stairs.
And as you start heading upstairs, you see Daniel and Janina sitting at a table. And Janina looks like she'd just been leaning closer and then moved back away. And Janina, as you whispered what you had whispered, Daniel just looks and he doesn't respond. And he looks shocked and worried and terrified. And then he just says, Bea, roll your perception and alertness. Difficulty 7, unless you wish to eavesdrop on the conversation.
To be fair, I have been concerned about Janina, and it has been on my to-do list to check in on her. So
Are you in a mental state to do it, though?
That's a good point.
How are you feeling?
Stressed.
It's up to you. Just.
I think that I do, because I think in that moment I forget about the rules of Elysium for a moment.
All right, then roll with difficulty 6.
Okay.
Perception and alertness.
I have 3 7s, so 3 6s.
Yeah, so you hear quite clearly Daniel not speaking loudly, just saying, "Please tell me you're joking."
Janina's not smiling, it's just me.
I mean, that's what I fucking suspected. Are you insane?
Well, hold on. She summoned me. It wasn't like I contacted her.
Right, so did she hurt you? What happened?
No, nothing.
Oh, that's what
She didn't hurt me.
It would be very naive to assume that you realized what was happening and ran away from there, right?
Nothing happened. Like we talked and danced. She just wanted to spend the New Year's with me, and I had to warn her.
Warn her, Janina. And he kind of now leans in closer. And then says, "This blood hunt on her, you can't warn her."
I have to.
Fuck. Janina, roll perception and alertness, difficulty 8.
Okay. I have no success.
No success.
Today is not gonna be a good.
Then you don't notice Bea standing down the stairs. If at any point Bea wants to do something, just let me know.
Not yet. I think I've maybe moved somewhat more out of sight.
Okay.
To maybe a point where I can sit and listen and not look super suspicious. And Mask of a Thousand Faces is very much hiding the look of absolute horror.
Daniel just continues. You can't if. Oh my god, I found out now, and now I have to hide the fact that you've done that.
Well, you should have just believed my lie then.
It was a shitty fucking lie.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. I will lie better next time.
Janina, fuck, I'm not gonna tell anyone, obviously, but
Thank you.
for fuck's sake, please don't continue this.
I'm not, but
What I'm sorry, I have no words.
I know, but it happened, and I don't know what to tell you. I just missed her, and I just couldn't leave. And she didn't hurt me or anything.
Well, I'm glad she didn't. Do you know that she won't?
I do. I mean, I guess I can't know, but I believe she won't. If she wanted to hurt me, she would do it.
Do you intend to do this again?
We haven't said anything, so I don't know.
Right. Oh my God, Janina.
I'm sorry. I'm
What
sorry.
am I gonna do with you? I really should. You know what I should do? I should put a stake through your heart and lock you somewhere in a wardrobe and spend a few years like that until, I don't know, it's safe to release you. And you
Yeah.
know he doesn't mean it, but
I know. He's just being a parent.
he is being a parent.
I just like give him like a smile that I know that he doesn't mean it, and I know that he's saying it like because he cares about me. And I like place my hand on his shoulder, and it's gonna be okay. Just I wouldn't go see her on my own, but it happened, and I had to warn her. I care about her, even though I know I shouldn't. I'm sorry. But I needed her to know that she's in danger. Oh, I'm sure she already knew. She's smart. But
Well, make sure no one else finds that out. And I'm going to do my best to forget. But oh my God, Janina, if I could have a heart attack, you would have given me one right now.
I'm so sorry. And I lean in and I give him a hug.
He first lets you hug him, and you feel the tension in his body, and then he very weakly sort of pats you on the back with this "I have no energy" sort of gesture.
I'm sorry, it's pretty late. I'm gonna go check on Hannah, and I'm glad that
she should be in your room. I know she came back.
Yeah,
she was really worried.
I know. I have to go to her. And I get up and turn around.
And you leave, and he just sort of sits there, hides his face in his hands for a moment as you walk towards your room. And what are you feeling? What are you thinking after this conversation?
I feel bad that I'm stressing him out. And I'm mad at myself that I didn't lie better. But I don't feel bad like that I met Nastya and that I told her, warned her, and I don't regret that because I love her. But I do feel bad that he found out and that he's worried now. And that he has to lie because of me right now. So yeah, so it's a lot of feelings.
And with those feelings, you are heading towards your room to meet up with your goal.
Yes.
Bea, what is running through your head? You had emotional night before, and now you eavesdropped on this conversation. You're standing. Daniel doesn't see you. He's sitting there with his face in his hands. And after a moment, he stands up, looks up, puts his hands in his pockets, shakes his head, and just heads upstairs as well.
I think I've just been sitting or standing, trying to look not suspicious. And internally, just I feel like I'm falling apart. Because there's this part of me that's wants to protect Janina. There's a part of me that just wants to grab her by the shoulders and shake her profusely. And then there's another part of me that knows that I'm doing the exact same thing with Arik. So, well, not the exact same thing, but So I think I just...
What do you think you're doing with Arek at this specific
At this
moment?
specific moment, I think that I'm helping Arik escape
Alright.
the Camarilla, because that's what I told myself
Yes.
before I went to the Sabbat. So at the moment, I feel like a traitor. I'm disgusted with
Okay.
myself, but I feel like a traitor. So I didn't feel like I should confront her, and I think I just want to head to my room to write down in my journal what's been going on, because I just feel overwhelmed and stressed, and there's just too much going on, and I'm scared I'm going to forget something. So
you head to your room, overwhelmed and stressed. Janina, you get to your room, and as you enter, you see Hannah immediately. She is not sleeping. She is just sitting on one of the beds, and she is slightly shaking. And as you open the door, she looks up and just says, "Oh, Janina, you're here."
I'm so sorry. And I just come up to her and I sit next to her. And I take her hand. And I'm so sorry. Something came up and I had to leave. I'm sorry.
But you didn't even tell us.
I know.
I was really worried.
I'm so sorry I worried you. And I just squeeze her hand and give her a comforting smile. I was worried about you as well, and I just hope that Magda will bring you back here. Is everything
did,
okay?
But we didn't know what happened to you. And
I know. I'm so sorry.
And I know someone has been looking for you, asking after you at the flat.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
I was so... And I mean, Magda she's nice, but I don't...
I know. I'm sorry I abandoned you. I'll try not to do it again.
Don't disappear like that again.
I'll do
I'm
my
glad
best.
You're safe. I'm really glad you're safe. I don't know what I would do without you.
Everything's okay, and I just
and she starts crying
now,
just sobbing.
Just, comfort her in my I bring her into my chest and stroke her hair.
She leans in and she's just sobbing with relief and emotion.
I continue apologizing and just comforting to her and promising her that I'm not gonna do that again.
Do you mean it?
Well, I don't want to do it again, like walking up on her without telling her. So I will try not to do that because I don't want to worry her. I wish I had a chance to say something. But yeah, I don't plan I understand that she worried, and I feel bad that I worry so many people.
And she finally, after a longer moment, stops sobbing and looks up at you again, and you see her eyes are wet with tears. There's a bit of redness around her eyes, on her cheeks. So what were you doing? Is there something I can help with?
No, it's okay. I just had to meet someone, and it was on short notice. I should have said something. I'm sorry. But everything's okay. I'm safe, and it wasn't that woman that was coming looking for me. It was a friend. It was just an emergency. I'm sorry.
Do you have many different friends here? I know there was this Roman. Was it something happened to him again?
No, it wasn't him. It's another friend, but don't worry about it. You'll meet all my friends eventually.
Right, I don't mind.
It's late. Let's go to sleep. And I lay in bed with her and just comfort her.
So you lay in bed with her to comfort her, and she accepts it. She is trying to ask some questions, but you feel that this is less of like wanting to find anything out, more of just anxiety about you. She asks you if you're safe several times.
I just try to be comforting and stroke her hair and tell her that she's doing good work at the hospital. And I'm trying to change the topic.
Roll your charisma and empathy with difficulty 7.
No hope for today's roll. Okay, what was the difficulty?
7.
Okay, then I have 2 successes.
So eventually she comes down a bit. She doesn't really want to talk about hospital, but she's just more quiet. She smiles at you. Well, I'm glad you're safe now, and we can go back there another day.
Of course. But now I want you to get a little bit of sleep.
Yes, and eventually she drifts off to sleep.
Oh, I continue like laying next to her and I kiss her on the forehead. And then I'm just lying, looking at the ceiling.
And you're
Thinking
looking
about
at
Nastya and what I'm gonna do. And why does it have to be so complicated?
And eventually, with thoughts of Nastya, you fall asleep when the sun rises. Meanwhile, Bea, you get to your room.
Yes, and let myself in, lock the door, and the first thing I end up doing is grabbing my journal and opening it up and going to write everything down. And as I do it, I spot my to-do list. And I see Arek's name on it and read over it, and then everything clicks into place. And I just have this mess of feelings and memories and emotions and the lie that I told myself and the truth kind of crashing in my head. And with the stress of this evening, with just sort of the sort of violated feeling, with everything that has just been churning around in my head, I just start sobbing because I feel so conflicted and overwhelmed and stressed and confused. And I just cry. I think Mask of a Thousand Faces is just gone.
And you're sobbing, and some of the blood probably falls over the pages of your journal as you are crying. And eventually, as you are crying and crying, you start feeling more tired. And you know the dawn is approaching.
I hurriedly write myself some notes and then try and clean up in the sink as quickly as I can. Clean off my hands, my face. Put my clothes over a chair. Spot some of like the sort of light blood stains that are on it from Yanko. And just get into bed, shaking and partially wishing that Antoni was here, but also kind of glad that I'm by myself because then I don't need to make a decision of what to do. And I just kind of curl up in my bed.
And like that, you eventually fall asleep. And then it is the next night. You can regain 1 willpower. You can lose your blood for the night as well. And Bea, you can roll for your nightmares with difficulty 7.
Oh, well, I'm on 4 willpower, baby. That's tons for me at this point. What's my difficulty?
7.
7. Okay, I've got 3 successes. I'm golden.
Right. So you're not having nightmares.
I'm actually surprised, to be honest.
Well, maybe they will catch up with you.
Maybe
next
they'll
time.
catch up.
Eventually, they'll catch up.
They always do.
But you sleep calmly this night. Janina, you wake up before Bea, and as you come to and start opening your eyes, you remember an echo of a dream. You remember this feeling of running to catch up with Bea, running to catch up with Nastya, hearing their voices calling to you from different directions. And you try to reach them both, try to find them, but they were both slipping away. And in the end, their voices disappeared and you were left alone.
I think I just like open my eyes and just linger in the sadness of the feelings from the dream a bit. And I really like thinking about if I would, like I don't want to go to this spot, but if I would be, could be with Nastya, but I would lose Bea, Daniel, and everyone else that I'm friends with. And while I'm here, I will have all of my friends, but I'm gonna lose Nastya. And I just want to run away. Like that sounds like the best option for me. But I try to shake those thoughts away and I look next to me to Hannah, if she's there.
So you see, Hannah's actually not there, but you hear water running in the bathroom.
Okay. Well, in that case, I just slowly sit up and dust myself off and wait for Hannah to finish showering or what she's doing.
So it doesn't take very long. She comes out. You see that her hair is wet. As you're waiting, you also see that there are some, you think some items of food just packed in an old newspaper, stored now on the small side table in the hotel room. And Hannah steps out from the shower, still washing her hair with a towel. And she smiles. Oh, Janina.
Good evening.
Good evening. I woke up a bit early. I went to get some food.
That's all right. Of course, like you don't have to sleep during the day. So, did you found any good food?
Well, there's not really anywhere to cook here, so I've been getting this. Well, some bread. Some people selling sandwiches. There's some people selling soup nearby.
Oh, that sounds really nice. I hope you're gonna have a good dinner, I want to say.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, I can't afford the restaurants here. I wouldn't know how to eat in such a place anyway.
Yeah, that's understandable. If I get any money, I will give them to you.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that.
I know you didn't, but
it's just a really fancy place.
I know, but you're my responsibility. I want to
Oh, I don't mind going somewhere else. I wouldn't feel well here. No, it's not my kind of place.
I know, but sometimes I want to someday take you out for dinner. Make you smile.
Right, can you have a dinner?
I can pretend I have it.
All right. And she smiles. And you see she's like looking maybe a bit confused by that, unsettled, but not massively, and is very happy, like much calmer than she was when you found her, when you returned.
Okay. Once you've gotten ready, do you want to like go to the Elysium with me to meet up some of the other kindred?
Yeah, if you think that would be good, yes.
We'll see. We'll get a look if there are some of my people that I trust and like.
All right. Are there people? Are there people you don't like there?
I guess that's usual. But I don't socialize with people I don't really like, so it's okay.
Okay. Well, if you think it's good, I'm happy to go with you.
I really want to introduce you to my sire, to Daniel. If you haven't been already yesterday, I'm not sure.
Sire, is that...
Yes, he's the one who embraced me.
Who made you
Yes,
what you are?
yes.
Right, and
He's a good guy.
roll perception and empathy. Difficulty 6.
2 successes. I guess that's max for me today. 2 successes.
Surprisingly, and not that many dice, you don't see what she's thinking. She just smiles and nods her head. Oh, all right, let's meet him.
And I will wait for her to get ready.
Yeah, so you wait. She starts getting ready. She starts, she puts on some new clothes. She dries her hair as much as she can here, then ties it up, and is ready to go.
Okay, then I'm gonna take her to Elysium.
So you head with her to the Elysium. Meanwhile, Bea, you wake up from absolute darkness, no dreams, curled up on your bed.
I think I sort of reach initially trying to feel for someone who I think should be there, but they're not. And then I sit up and look around the room and acknowledge the fact that Antonia isn't here. And I don't feel fantastic emotionally, but I'm not entirely sure why until I pick up my journal and look at it, and things start cementing in my head again. And the stress from the night prior comes back, although slightly less so after having slept. Although what's hitting me far more is the hunger.
Yes, you are feeling hungry.
And I sort of look at what I learned last night from overhearing Janina, and I decide I'm not going to make a decision on that until after I've fed. So I will get ready, wash out some of I suppose I probably dealt with the bloodstains last night, so the change into dry clothes. Put on makeup and head outside to go hunt. Everything else can wait until I've dealt with that.
So what approach are you taking? Do you intend to just sneak up on someone with
I think
obfuscate?
so. I'm not looking on taking a long time. I've got other things I need to deal with tonight.
Then roll your wits and alertness with
Okay.
difficulty 7.
I have 3 successes.
So it doesn't take you a very long time. You'll have to wander a little bit towards the Vistula River.
Mhm.
But you don't get all the way down to the river. You wander what remains of the streets. In some places they have been cleared, in some places they're still partially or mostly covered by rubble. And eventually you come across a fairly young man, maybe in his 20s, walking quite nonchalantly just along the street. He is looking not quite tired now, but clearly like he maybe has been partying whole last night now. Got some sleep and is coming back, and he's kind of whistling. Seems to be in a good mood, but he's on his own, and he's walking across a pretty dark, partially covered with rubble streets.
In which case, I presume I'm already obfuscated if I've been searching the streets. I would like to sneak up on him and try and feed.
And you can do that with obfuscate, no problem. But how much blood do you have right now?
5.
Then please roll your self-control, difficulty 6.
I have a 6 and a 10.
All right, so you're okay.
Thankfully.
In that case, you sneak up on the man and match your step to his, and then just lean towards him as he pauses for a moment and bite into his neck. And you feel a delicious taste of blood filling your mouth and throat. And there is a part of you that hungers for more, but you control yourself. And how much do you take?
2, I think. As tempting as it would be to go for 3, I control myself.
Then you leave the man there in the street, I presume.
Yes.
And having drunk a little bit and not feeling quite so hungry now, you're not maybe fully satiated, but you don't feel that hunger that has been disrupting your thoughts anymore.
And sort of heading back to the hotel, I guess I internally decide that if I have time later in the evening, I'll maybe go and hunt again, but just for now, that will just have to do. And still, like activating unseen passage again, just because the streets aren't safe. I return back to the hotel, sort of glancing through my to-do list as I'm going. I'm trying to wrap my head around things.
And where are you heading as you're back at the hotel? Or we can come back to that.
If we could
like.
come back to that, I would appreciate
We'll
it.
We'll come back to that and you think on it.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, Janina, you get to the Elysium with Hannah.
Okay, first I'm gonna, well, when we are in the doorway, I'm gonna look around and see if there are some my favorite people like Dominic, Daniel, Raquel, people like that I like to socialize.
So you see that Daniel is actually there.
Okay. All right, then I guess I smile at Hannah and I grab her hand and let's go. Let's meet him. Unless like he's like engaged in like some
No,
conversation.
so it is pretty empty still.
Okay.
You see that Stefania is there with Anna Maria from the Toreadors. There are a couple of people you think are from Clan Ventru, but you don't know them. And there's Daniel.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna go straight to Daniel with Hannah. And I just whisper to her, it's okay. You don't have to worry.
You see that people glance at you as you enter, and they glance at Hannah, and she doesn't stop, but she moves slightly closer to you, almost on instinct. And she follows you, approaching Daniel, who looks at you and shakes his head and smiles.
I give him a tired smile. Good evening. I just wanted to introduce you. I hoped you would be here because I wanted to introduce you to Hannah because she's staying here with me now.
Oh, Hannah, yes. Magda told me about you. I'm Daniel. And she just like introduces herself. Hannah, hi. But she seems very at a loss. And roll your perception and empathy again.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in her place. Meeting up new people sucks. Okay, I have 2 times.
Right. So you see that she's smiling, but she is scared. She looks at Daniel and she's unnerved. She's glancing around at all these other people.
I just take my hand and like wrap it around her shoulder and just, it's okay.
If you say so.
He won't hurt you.
Daniel smiles like, hey, listen, I don't know what scary tales Nina told you about me. She always says the best things. But yeah, fine, I want you to feel safe here. It's my job, making people feel safe here.
And I just look at Hannah and just like...
She smiles when he makes a comment about like things you told her. So she's kind of maybe, not as scared as she initially was, but she's definitely like tense around everyone in here.
It's okay, one step at a time. You don't have to meet everyone right now. I just really wanted to introduce you to Daniel and hopefully, well, she already met Bea, right?
Yeah, she met Bea already.
Okay, then I'm scrapping that comment.
And she says, yeah, that's all right. I want to know the people that you like and that you talk to. I think it's good for me to know.
Of course. Well, Daniel, he's like my dad. And I just give him a smile.
He smiles and he says, yes. And you know what you do with parents? You listen to them. And then he turns to Hannah and says, she's the worst child.
Oh.
And you see that Hannah like laughs a little bit at his exaggerated comments and is a little bit more at ease with him.
Yeah, that makes me kind of like happy that Daniel, because I feel like Daniel is very easy to like, get your, like, be comfortable around. So I'm glad that she seems to be less nervous around him because I want her to be able to trust him in case anything would happen to me, like he would inherit her. But yeah, I think like there's like some small talk that I'm trying like to make with the two of them, and then maybe I look around if like Bea's there, or maybe or maybe Magda if she's also there, or if she's not, then I just wanted to apologize.
So as you're making a little bit of small talk, you indeed see Magda come in at some point, and she looks around and she immediately looks at you and starts heading towards you.
I give her a smile. Oh, good evening. I'm so sorry.
Good evening. It's good to see you. Hannah, I hope you're feeling better now that Janina is back. And Hannah just nods her head. Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry. Just something come up. I should have told you. I will tell you next time. I will not leave you like this. Thank you for bringing Hannah back here.
Of course, I got worried there for a moment. And she kind of glances around and she talks. Do you have a moment to talk?
Yes. I look at Hannah. Will you be okay if I leave you with Daniel here for a moment?
I think so. And Daniel just sort of leads, if anything, if you want to go, I can escort you back to your room like a real gentleman. And she laughs at that a little bit.
I should ship them.
But she nods her head and says, okay, I'll be fine, but we'll probably head to the room soon.
Oh, then I just give them both a smile, a longer smile for Hannah, and I just get with follow Magda.
And she leads you out of the Elysium.
Mm.
Meanwhile, yeah.
I think I'm looking to go update Mr. Sarnowski, if I can find him. So I guess I head towards Elysium, and poke my head in and just see who's there. I don't like go in fully.
So you don't see him there. That would have been after Janina has left with Magda, but you see Daniel and Hannah sitting there.
I close the door. Not dealing with Daniel right now. So I guess I head back down to reception. And I mean, I have another question that I needed to ask Mariusz about, actually. But I can also ask him whether Mr. Sanofsky is in the hotel. So I will go do that and find Mariusz.
Right. So you come back down to the reception and ask about Mr. Sarnowski. Mariusz thinks for a moment, says, I believe so. I can make some calls and find out for you. Let him know you're looking for him.
I'd appreciate that. Thank you. And I was just wondering where I think Bea knows Roman's surname, but I, the player, have forgotten it off the top of my head.
I don't think you know Roman's surname.
Really?
I think you know him only as Roman.
I thought I'd heard it. Maybe it's someone else I'm thinking of. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll ask where Roman is, where Roman has been moved to, because I know he was getting moved out of the supply closet.
And he gives you a room number.
Okay. And I smile and thank him. And I guess I'll go check on Roman first, and then maybe head back to Elysium, see if Mr. Stanovki has made an appearance.
So you head towards the room where Roman is, and you get there quite soon. I presume you knock on the door.
Yes.
And you hear his voice just say, yeah, who's there?
It's me.
Oh, right, okay. Well, come in and should be open.
I let myself in. I let myself in.
And you see Roman lying in bed, covered with a duvet, resting on a cushion. He's in his Nosferatu form, so you see his loose, excessive skin hanging off his face and his body, almost flaking off, dry in some places, but in other covered with warts and boils. And he looks to you. Beatrice Wozniak.
Roman,
Come in, come in.
thanks. You seem comfortable.
Yes, I am enjoying my well-deserved rest after being a bloody idiot and almost getting mauled to death.
Firstly, I would like to roll self-control to see whether I can touch him.
Difficulty 7, go for it.
Okay. Thankfully, I have one success after the one.
So you can make yourself do this.
And it's not the most pleasant sensation for me, but he's my friend and I want to comfort him. So I kind of like gently like place my hand on his shoulder, but it's very, very gentle. And just in case he's still in physical pain.
Kind of winces at the moment, like, careful, that hurts, you know.
Sorry, I was trying to be gentle.
That's fine. Been through, well, I don't know if I've been through worse, but if it hurts, it means it can still hurt, so that's good.
I'm still glad you're back with us, mostly in one piece.
Yeah, well, as good as it gets. Thanks again for helping Yuzek
Oh,
get
of course.
me in here.
I wasn't going to leave you out in the street.
Well, many would, so.
Well, their loss, I guess. You're my friend, Roman.
I guess so, yeah. You're my friend too, kid, and
Whether you like it or not.
It depends. What are you up to? Are you bringing in more trouble on our heads?
I'm trying to do the opposite, but we'll see how that goes.
Right, well, are you all right?
A bit stressed, to be honest. I'm working very closely with Clan Tremere at the moment.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah. It's
Listen, these are some really nasty facts, Bea. You know that, right?
I'm aware. And as he says that, I think the memory of watching Mr. Sarnowski torture Arik kind of flits back into my head. I've seen at least a little bit of what they can do. What they can be like.
Well, I'm not an expert on Clan Tremere, not by far.
I wouldn't claim to be either.
But I know what my sire thinks of them, and my sire's a bitch. But she's a wise bitch, if you know what I mean.
I can guess.
She's been around, she made it through all the fucking shit and sewage and whatever else you get with a pretty face like that. She knows a fucker who will hurt you from miles away. And she drilled it into my head that every single Tremere is a fucker who will hate you, no matter how nice they seem, no matter how helpful, no matter what they promise you.
Yeah. I'm not exactly thrilled about it. But after Mr. Lubomirski left, there wasn't really much other choice.
Are they forcing you to do this?
No, but my work requires oversight. And Mr. Sonovsky volunteered. And I don't really get much say in that matter. The work I volunteered for, working for them specifically, I did not.
Must be some work.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, kid.
I'm trying. But God, if the city doesn't make it hard.
Yeah, it's a pile of shit if you ask me.
I sort
Hey.
of look.
And well, as you do that, he just sort of says, hey, I know well, I only say that stuff to warn you, not to scare you, you know. So that you keep your eye on all those cunts who would hurt you or throw you away when you're no longer needed. And you can make sure you survive.
Thank you, Roman.
But keep your eyes on them.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Fuck everything else, you know? Fuck up is a fuck up. What matters is you manage to crawl back.
I sit there thinking about the party with the Sabbat and sort of going, well, I'll try. And it's good to know I've got good people around me.
You do. You know, make sure you rely on them.
And I smile as I look at him, and then I remember Janina and Daniel's conversation, and I get stressed again, but I try and keep that to myself.
Or all your subterfuge and self-control.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty 6.
Oh, after the ones, that's a single success.
That's better than he did.
Really?
So you
oh
managed
my God.
to. Maybe he's distracted by pain.
Maybe
you put on a better face than you thought. He doesn't seem to notice your distress. He just continues what he was saying. So remember to rely on them. And then looks to you briefly, winces in pain, and says, because, you know, you have a tendency to isolate yourself sometimes. And I know you don't always remember, but I know you have your journal, and right there, reach out to people, maintain relationships.
I'm trying to get a bit better at that, and I sort of open up my journal and pull out a page that I've recently added to it, which is loved ones and allies, and reminders of the people that
who's on that list?
Yeah,
show it to him.
Well, it's loved ones, allies, and patrons is the full title.
Oh, right, okay.
Although Mr. Lamirsky is scored out, so
yeah.
So Janina's on there. Roman is on there. Antoni is on there. Rahela, Cornelia, Daniel with a question mark, Felicia, Edvard has been added to it, and Joachim also has a question mark.
So he goes through that list, and he points to Joachim and just goes, no.
There is notes next to it of like clan kind of sus, but has offered help in past. So there is.
Oh, he does. He just says no. He looks at Daniel. What happened there?
And then I pause, sort of looking at it. And I can't think of much beyond the conversation, but I feel like there probably was something. And I'm sort of sitting there going, I'm not entirely certain, just a feeling like something happened. I don't recall. I need to go back through my notes again, I guess. Oh, I've gotten written next to it, he's wary of me and I need to ask why. Okay. In which case I will say as such, he seems oddly wary of me. I don't quite understand what's going on there. But there's not really been much time to sort of interrogate him on his feelings, so, you know.
I don't know. And then he points at Edward. Who the fuck is that?
Oh, I guess I've adopted a ghoul.
Well, good for you, I guess. I don't know.
He was, well, his previous domitor was killed recently. I think there wasn't going to be much else for him, so I stepped in.
All right, how's he handling it?
Not fantastically, but he asked for a bit of space, so I've given him that, and I'll check in on him again tonight. I'm trying to stay on top of that as best I can. I pull out my to-do list, and that is also on there, so I'm staying on top of it as best I can, but yeah. He's shaken up.
Imagine he would be. These things can get messy from what I've heard. Just, be mindful of that.
Absolutely. But it seemed a better solution than just whatever would happen to him if he was alone.
Nothing good, I presume.
No.
Fuck this whole thing, he says, sort of leaning back with visible tiredness. Just fuck them all.
And I sort of look down, thinking about it, because on the one hand, I serve the Camarilla and I'm loyal to them, but it is tiring. It is hard. And I'm a little bit torn by his comment. And I find my eyes sort of drifting to Felicia on the list.
And what's running through your head?
I miss her. I want her here. I know she isn't coming back, but I want her here.
And you feel that. And that once you start thinking about it, you feel it more and more strongly. The absence of someone you had near you.
I'm not controlling my expression at this point.
And Roman, looking to you, sits up a little bit, wincing through the pain. Hey, it's okay. If you need to sit here and be miserable for a moment, that's fine.
I appreciate that. I miss her, Roman.
I know.
I need her. I know it's my fault, but I want her back.
Wait, what is your fault? What are you talking about?
Felicia. Mother. I don't remember why, but But I know I pushed her away.
Listen, I don't know what happened between you two. I know you told me where she went, and I... Fuck, I don't know. I'm sorry.
And it's always there. I know I need to find her.
Just... Well... If she went to that cathedral, just promise me you won't go there, okay?
I promise.
I know it's hard. I know it pulls at your fucking heart.
And I sort of force back the tears.
It's okay to cry, kid. You're with a friend here now.
And I think at that I just kind of break down. And
And you start crying. And I think that's a good moment for a break. We will be back in about 15 minutes to continue with the story of Bea and Janina. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you after the break. And welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us to continue the story of Bea and Janina. And let's continue with Janina. So you walk with Magda, who takes you out of the Elysium, and then along some corridors, she doesn't quite emerge into the main stairwell. She finds a little nook somewhere where there is quite comfortable small seat that you can both sit on. And she just sits there, gestures for you to sit.
I sit next to her and just like, is everything okay?
Yes, I thought maybe it's better to talk away from all the ears of the main Elysium room. So you said something came up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's personal. I hope you don't mind. But everything's okay. I'm fine. I'm safe. I should have said something. I shouldn't have disappeared. I just thought I'm gonna be back much sooner than I did.
That's all right. Just, I understand if you don't want to talk about this. I'm glad you're fine. I was concerned.
I'm so sorry.
It's quite dangerous in the city at the moment, and Hannah freaked out.
I know. Thank you so much for dealing with her and taking her here.
No, that's no problem.
Are you gonna go to the hospital again today?
I was thinking of doing that, yes.
Oh,
if that's all right.
Of course, you don't have to wait for me. You're free to go there whenever you want.
Well, then I'll try to get things underway in your absence.
Okay, thank you so much.
I
appreciate that.
Wanted to ask, I know blood supply is limited still, even with two of us and Hannah when she gets up to speed, but I was wondering if I could take some. I know my sire and my clan could use it. It wouldn't be all of it, but it could come in handy in some of the things we're working on.
Well, maybe when we have a bit more. So once we have a bit more, then of course, like we can share. It's not a problem.
I won't take all of it, don't worry.
Oh, well, if it's not, I usually try to like keep these for an emergency, but
Of course.
if you need like one or two, like of course, feel free. Like you're
Thank you.
walking there, you can take it as your payment.
Thank you, that's appreciated.
Mm.
And I hope soon we'll be able to, well, scale it up somehow and have more of a reserve that we can draw from.
Yes, that would be great.
I'll do what I can to make that happen.
I know you will. You're very smart and capable.
I'm glad you think that.
And I know you want to please your sire.
With perception and empathy.
I have 8, 10, 9, so 3 successes.
8 and 9. So you don't really see much on her face, except she just nods her head and says, "Yes, I hope I will." He's trying to, you know, the Zimishi who attacked the hotel, who
Yes.
left Mr. Bieletsky in torpor and killed that Malkavian. I didn't really know who was, well, under his supervision.
Yes.
I remember that quite vividly. I was so close. They saved us there. Well, I think they did. So I know my sire wants to track him down.
Oh,
I
that's good.
sorry?
That's good.
He's sorry. You don't have to answer. But I remember you talking to Joachim when you found us, that he also killed your other sister?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, he killed her and diablerized her soul. So I definitely want to see him gone.
As do I. I know my sire is not the kindest person, but if he sets his mind to something, I believe he will get it done.
Well, I'm sure he's very capable, so hopefully it's gonna get done.
I'm sorry that you lost someone like that to Izimishi.
Thank you so much for your comfort, and yeah, I miss her. She was a Nosferatu. And
What was she like?
She was so dramatic, such a drama queen. She was very loud, and I know people say I'm loud, but she's much more, I don't know. She liked to perform. She was a good person. And now she's gone. At least I still have Bea.
I'm sorry you lost her.
Oh, thank you.
We will get rid of him at least. I mean, I won't be the one doing that, but unless...
Well, I'm sure you won't be.
I'm not that... Well, I suppose I'm not that good.
You're gonna be busy at the hospital.
Yes. And that maybe will help in some way if we can get more of the blood ready?
I'm sure it will help. We have to work on that.
I'll go there and make sure.
Oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go tonight, but I might.
Oh, you don't have to.
I might send Hannah. Maybe you could like take her with you today.
I
Because
could do if she wants to come.
I need to. I think I will need to go hunt, and I
think we get on all right, so I can go with her. And
thank you.
well, she got quite scared, but I think if she knows you're waiting for her back here, rather than disappearing, she'll be fine.
All right, then it's settled. Let's go check on them, and I will tell Hannah about the plan.
Of course, let's go. And well, I'm glad you're okay, whatever it was you had to deal with.
Thank you. You're very sweet.
And you head with her back to the Elysium, I presume.
Yes.
How do you feel about this conversation as you're heading back? What's in your head?
I feel like I'm torn between like that she's very like, friendly and I want to be closer with her because she seems like a nice person. But at the same time, I feel like, well, why she's crying so much? She barely knows me. And like, I don't like her sire. But at the same time, I feel like she's gonna be useful, like helping me. So I think like with taking the blood, it like concerns me a little bit, but at the same time, I feel like she should like get, it should be like her reward for like working there. So I don't know. I just want it to be fair.
Do you remember what Zygmunt told you about the Tremere?
I know, and that's why like the red flags are like popping out, but at the same time, like I don't want to judge everyone like the same. It's just hard. It's hard for Janina to like, because Magus seems like a good person, so she's trying. She's trying to be like half trusting, but she like Janina wants to like become closer with her, but at the same time she doesn't want that.
I understand. On your return with her, to send Hannah with her to the lab. Meanwhile, Bea, you started crying, sitting next to Roman. He looks not surprised, but just a little bit like taken aback.
That's right.
And then pats you on the back very gently.
Yeah, I think I think I don't even notice. I think I've just buried my face in my hands, and the moment he gave me permission, I just went to pieces.
And then he just sits with you patiently, doesn't say anything, giving you the time you need.
I think because of the kind of person that I am, I don't think I allow myself to cry for that long. I think that quite quickly, especially given that I'm in someone else's company, I find myself sort of like trying to sort of recover and trying to get a handle on myself again. I don't know how well that goes, but
that's all right. I think you can, reasonably.
Okay. So after maybe not as long as would actually be helpful, stop and kind of look at the ceiling and focus until the tears stop. And then reach into a pocket for my little compact with a mirror in it and just sort of silently wipe the tears away.
Roman doesn't interrupt.
Thank you. And
Hey, if you need someone to sit with and cry, I'm going to be enjoying this bed for the next few nights.
you can't run away on me at the moment. Well,
You know, if Janina wants to bring me some blood, that's fine, but not too much too quickly, or my sire will send me back to work.
I'll let her know. I say, suddenly reminded of the shit with Janina.
Do you want to hide that?
I think given the sort of emotional state that I'm in, and I don't know that I'm doing a good job at it, so I'm happy to take a penalty on it.
Right. So roll with difficulty 7.
Okay, and this is
Self-control and subterfuge.
Boy.
Oh.
Well, oh my god. After all of the ones again, I am left with no successes.
Well, he has 5.
Great.
So the moment
you can see that I'm worried about her.
Yes. So he sees right through your attempt to pull yourself together, and he just goes. Well, he was, talking, and then looks, is something wrong with Janina?
She's done something reckless again. And Tony and I have both been worried about her, and I know that I need to bring this to someone, but I'm scared she's going to get into trouble just with the way that she is. But
Is that what I think it is?
I don't know what you think it is, so I'm not, and I don't necessarily want to put anything on you, so don't tell me what you think it is.
All right, then. Haven't heard anything. I know nothing.
I appreciate it. I just need to decide what it is I'm going to do, and I need to do it soon, because I can't.
Hey, whatever it is, don't let her destroy herself for something stupid, especially since she's been much less troubled. She's been much more almost respectable lately.
I don't know how to balance doing my duty and protecting the people that I care about when they go and do reckless shit like Janina does.
Listen, Bea, it's all, fuck, I don't know.
I feel like I'm constantly chasing after her and trying to make sure she's not going to do something reckless, whilst I'm trying to balance my own work and my own memories, and I'm so tired all the time. And I just feel like I can't keep up, but I can't lose her.
Did you tell her that?
I don't remember.
Well, just in case, maybe go and actually talk to her. Because, I can give you all sorts of advice to bash her head in a wall so that she spends a day in torpor and thinks on her behavior.
Roman, with my weak noodle arms, that's not going to be particularly effective, but I appreciate your thoughts.
Well, maybe your attempt will be so shocking that that will shock her into coming to her senses.
Well, I'll keep it in mind.
So, well, the point is, yeah, I'm worried about her too, and I'm worried about you as well. So, both of you seem to be diving into deep shit.
I appreciate your worry, Roman, but I at least feel like I'm only getting into shit that's external as opposed to also internal.
Well, shit is shit.
True, I suppose.
And I know there's a lot of that comes with the package. But, well.
And God knows I've been worried about you going into those bloody tunnels.
I do my job, okay?
And I do my job.
Do you want to do the job that you're doing?
I want for this city to be safer, Roman. It's not a job that anyone's going to want to do, but if it needs done and it will help, then I'll do it.
You have it all the wrong way, kid. The city is not going to be much safer. What matters is that you're safe in it. Or as safe as I can be, and I'm not particularly safe in those fucking tunnels. But it's my people who went missing there.
I know. Roman, I've got to believe that one day the city can be safer. Even if it takes decades, I
don't know. Maybe it can. Fuck it. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I've been through shit as well.
Haven't we all?
Yeah.
It's been a rubbish few years, hasn't it?
And the rubbish, yeah. It's been rubbish.
Well, at least there's good people.
Yeah.
I give them a smile. When I say good people.
He smiles at you.
So it's not all shit?
Not all.
Right.
Take care of yourself.
You too. And, well, don't recover too fast.
I will work on being lazy here for a few nights.
I'm glad. And I lean over and I give him a kiss on the forehead.
He looks kind of surprised.
You take care of yourself.
Take care.
And I leave.
How are you feeling after leaving him?
A little bit lighter. I mean, I still have a ton of things to do, but at least some of the emotional state is drained a little bit. It's not been solved, but I'm at least not up here anymore. I'm more down here. So I'm glad I went to see him, but I'm aware that I also have responsibilities, so I'm going to go see if Mr. Sarnowski has made an appearance in Elysium.
So you get to Elysium, and before we get to that, Janina, you get to Elysium with Magda. And you see that Daniel and Hannah are already gone. You see there's more people in there now.
Oh, okay.
There's
So,
Mihail, who's in there, your favorite. There's Mr. Cernovsky there with Joachim.
I guess in that case, I will just smile at Magda and tell her that I'm gonna fetch Anna in her room and excuse myself and leave.
All right. And the assumption is that you're gonna fetch her and bring her here for Magda to go with her, or do you want Magda to just come with you? And
I think it would be better for maybe like for Magda to. Well, I will tell Magda to wait and like we set like time where she's gonna go to the hospital, and then that I will tell Hannah to wait in her room for her, because I guess Magda will want to like catch up with.
right,
Joachim
okay,
and-
no problem. So you go to see Hannah.
Yes.
She's in the room. You see that Daniel is gone. She's now eating one of the sandwiches that she bought somewhere.
I watch her eat, trying not to be creepy.
Well, as you come in, she looks to you and says, first she gives a wave, and then she tries eating faster.
You can eat slower. It's okay.
I was just grabbing something, you know.
Of course, I was just talking with Magda, and she's gonna go to the hospital a bit later today, and I told her that you might want to go with her.
Are you coming?
I'll probably not come. I have some things I have to do, but maybe if you want, I will come there after and pick you up.
You don't have to. I'll be okay. You know, as long as you don't disappear again.
No, I'm not disappearing. I will probably like be stuck here. I just have to go out for a bit, but then I'm gonna be stuck here most of the night. So you don't have to worry.
Well, I can go with Magda.
Okay, good. Then she's coming to pick you up in a bit.
I'll be ready.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to start leaving at night like you soon.
You're becoming one of us already. Fitting right in.
Roll perception and empathy. Difficulty 6.
3 successes.
So you see that she kind of pauses when you say that, and she seems both pleased and scared.
Okay. I see it and I give her like a smile. I meant it just like that you're gonna go out at night, and
It's okay.
just adapt more to.
I'm trying. I know it's all scary, and when more people started coming in.
What do you think about Daniel?
He seems all right.
Oh, he's very caring, and he's also very honest, so you can always like, be honest with him, and you don't have to. He will always like do things that he thinks are right, and he will want you to be safe, so you can trust him.
I'll remember that.
Him and Bea, they are my closest people here, and
Good to know.
I also would like to for you to meet Roman, but he's still not feeling great.
And your friend who got hurt.
Yes, he's I think he's recovering. I have to inquire about how he's doing, but if he's gonna feel better, I'm sure I will be happy for you to meet Graham. I'll leave that for another day. Right now I'm gonna go out because I need to feed, and I think there's a bit like embarrassment because I always feel like bad when I mention that because I know that's kind of uncomfortable for her.
You see that she like tenses a little bit at it, but then seems to shake it off, just push it aside and smiles. Of course.
And then I be here. I probably catch up with Bea, and we'll see. But I don't plan to go anywhere tonight, like not far away anywhere.
All right.
So
Well,
you don't have to worry.
well, I'm not going to then.
Thank you. And be safe and listen to Magda. She's very smart, and I'm sure she's better at explaining than I am.
I'm sure she's not.
I'm just being nice.
No, you're very good at. You showed me so many things.
Okay, I'm gonna let you eat in peace.
Of course. I'll
And
see you later.
I give her a bit of a hug and then leave.
And you go outside to feed, right?
Yes.
Then roll your wits and alertness with difficulty 7.
One success, 1 10. No, 2. I have also 9. I thought there was a 6, but it's 9. So 2 successes.
All right, 2 successes. So, it takes you a little bit of time. You wander around the streets, but eventually, walking more towards Poniatowski Bridge and then walking down towards Vistula River, you see a man walking carefully on a more slippery path there, with a newspaper tucked under his arm, wearing a coat, and he's on his own.
Okay, then I will try to sneak up on him and bite.
So do you want to sneak up and just grab
Yes.
him?
Yes, like usual.
Roll your stealth dex and add your celerity to it. Difficulty 6.
Okay, I have 2 ones, but also, so I have to like. Okay, so 3 successes after I counted everything.
No problem. He doesn't realize you very, very gently, very gracefully, very quietly move up to him really quickly. And before he can do anything, you grab him and bare his throat and bite into his neck. How much blood do you have right
7.
now? 7. So you're okay. How much do you take?
2. If I'm okay, I only take 2.
So you drink what you know is safe to take from a mortal. And the man, well, loses consciousness briefly, overpowered by the pleasure of the kiss, and then is a bit dazed as you lay him down on the ground.
I'll leave him. If I'm like, I feel like I drank just the safe amount, so I just leave him. And I think I will go back to the hotel and I'll try to, I guess, catch up with Bea.
All right. So you're going to the hotel to find Bea. Meanwhile, Bea, you get to the Elysium, and you indeed see Mr. Cernowski there, talking to Joachim. You're on mute, Faye.
Oops. I will approach him and see whether he seems to be very deep in a conversation or whether he has time for me?
No, as he sees you, he kind of raises his hand to acknowledge you, says few more things. Joachim finishes with, "I will speak to you later." And then turns towards you.
Good evening, sir. I was wondering if I could give you an update.
Miss Wojciech, of course, I was informed that you were looking for me. Please follow me.
Thank you. And I'm
And he
following.
leads you to one of the offices, one of the closer ones, but few doors away from the Elysium.
I would like to compose myself, just sort of steel myself before we start talking, because I'm going to want to keep my emotions reasonably close to my chest.
Roll your self-control and subterfuge.
Difficulty 6.
Difficulty is indeed 6.
And I take it hiding emotions comes in here.
Yes, it would do that, yes.
Yes, shocking. Okay. That's 8 successes.
You maintain pretty good composure.
We'll see if it was enough. Anyway, once we're inside, I attended one of the Sabbat celebrations last night, sir. I spoke further with. I should spend the willpower, so I've got the memory back before I start talking.
Yeah, unless you're going off your journal.
Actually, that's a good point, because I've.
What I mean is, you don't have to spend willpower every time if you have your journal with you. And
yes, I have
notes
written
in
quite
it.
thorough notes in there. So, okay. In which case, I will not spend the willpower. And given that I've read my journal several times this evening,
Yeah.
I relay the events that took place. Who seems to trust me? Who seems less so? The question that was posed to be my Florian, and his sort of response to that. I think I don't explain my emotional state during it, because
Okay.
I never talk about my emotional state during work. But I think I sort of pause around Yanko.
Right. You tell him about the arrangement you made with Gravedigger.
Yes, I tell him all of the actual events that took place.
Sorry, because if you're summarizing everything you said at once, then I can't make him respond to specific things.
Okay, no, that's fair. Okay, so I guess we'll start with I'll start with everything with Gravedigger.
All right. So he listens to it, and just says, "Very well. Keep that going. It won't be long now. Look for opportunities. See what you can learn from it."
I'll also add that will hope that the arrangement that we have hopefully means that there's a blood supply there as well.
Well.
And was there anything else relating to Gravedigger that was relevant?
I think that was the main thing.
Yeah. Okay. In which case, then move on to what happened with Florian, and the sort of the interaction dynamic, his sort of opinions of me, how that seems to be not fantastic, but that's not surprising given how we've previously interacted.
To this, raises his eyebrows.
Yeah.
You should have done it. You should have said yes.
I'll keep that in mind for the future, sir.
Do you realize why you should have said yes?
No, sir.
Then, if you don't understand something, ask Miss Wozniak. I don't want you to be confused.
Yes, sir.
It's not that I encourage you to seek diablerie. But if they had killed you for refusing, then everything we're doing and all your life would be for nothing. You can't hesitate in those moments. You have to be prepared to do what's necessary.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You were lucky this time, and I'm glad of that.
Thank you, sir.
Just remember that for the future.
And I sort of
They
nod,
are-
shaking it in.
They are not the people who think like us. I know it's difficult, but you need to adopt a mindset that will let you survive among the monsters when you interact with them.
I understand. Thank you.
Just nods his head and smiles.
I guess in that instance, I will then tell him about Anita, was it?
Yeah.
And how she seems to be one of the most sort of like unconvinced by me, but did let me leave. And her is it sort of interrogating me, and how she said that I didn't seem the type, and I will say that after his advice that makes sense. She's certainly someone I would have to work a lot harder with to get her to believe my intentions.
Yes. She
Or
might
avoid.
not be the most important one in all of this, but it's worth keeping in mind.
I will. Oh, the other thing when mentioning Florian is I will add the comment about the Archbishop of Krakow, how they've been sitting on her laurels.
Perception and empathy.
Okay. Perception, empathy. Well, it's not as good as my last roll. Oh no, those are sixes actually. My bad. That's 4 successes.
You don't see anything on his face.
I'm shocked. I don't see through the Tremere. Okay.
So he just listens to this.
Okay.
And just ask, did they say anything more on the matter?
No, it mostly seemed to be a part of the sermon. Describe that sermon itself.
Might be just posturing.
Perhaps, but I figured it was worth mentioning. Yeah, I think Yanko's the only one that I have particular hesitation mentioning, because remember, like, even just seeing the description of what happened makes me uncomfortable.
Do you mention him?
I think I do, because he is important in that he seems to be one of the people that would be easier to get in with. I think there is sort of a moment where I do like pause, and I catch myself pausing, and I think the soldier nature kicks in there, and I just find myself like going, this is ridiculous. You can't let that get in the way. So I sort of steel myself, and then I don't like go into like details about what happened, but I will sort of mention that he seemed handsy.
Mr. Sanofsky raises his eyebrows slightly and then asks, "Who is he again?" Someone very young, a shovelhead, isn't he?
Yes, he is not of great importance, but it sounded from previous descriptions that he would go, that people think he will go far.
Well, hopefully we can prevent that from happening, but he's not anywhere near being a priority or our target.
No.
Use him if you can, but don't be overly concerned about anything to do with him.
I understand. That was my thoughts as well.
Is there anything else, Miss Wozniak?
Me checking my notes.
I think you covered pretty much
I think I've covered
everything,
actually. In which case, I'll say that was everything that occurred. And I will continue working on with Gravedigger tonight.
Very well.
And I sort of check the time roughly.
Keep it up. Observe.
Yes, sir.
And let me know when you have new information.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to come with, every little thing, but when something of note happens.
Yes, sir.
And if you have any questions, of course, ask.
If you could give me any sort of indication of timelines, that would be helpful. It's a little difficult for me to think in terms of timelines unless I'm given one set. I can make do, but it is easier with some goals.
I can't give you a timeline.
I understand.
Yet. We are not, with those things, Ms. Wozniak, often there isn't a timeline as such. It's a matter of opportunity. We are looking for an opportunity and for opportunities to create one.
Yes, sir. In terms of with Arek, in terms of getting him out, I wanted to double check what your feelings on the matter were and just be certain of what it was I'm all right to go ahead with.
Before you go ahead with actually releasing him, check in with me.
Yes, sir.
Get him ready for it, though.
Yes, in the meantime, I'll get him fed. I appreciate it.
I will keep you updated with instructions as soon as we know more of what is feasible.
I understand, sir. Thank you. Just me trying to take a note.
If you don't have any other questions, that would be all, Ms. Wozniak.
Thank you, sir. Have a good rest of your evening.
You too.
I will excuse myself.
And how are you feeling?
I think sort of as I step out, I sort of come down from that, almost it's not quite like an emotionless mode, but step out from that professional setting. There's sort of that, the work mask, if you know about that, the sort of, I think it was almost easier to not feel quite as much when I'm discussing things in a professional setting, if that makes sense. And then the moment I'm out of there, there's just kind of that pressure kind of comes back down over my shoulders. And I think on what he said, especially about how I should have said yes to the Diablerie and gone ahead with it, if it had been offered to me. And then I think about the discussion I just had with Roman about the clan in general, and that doesn't feel fantastic. But I think for now I'm just kind of trying to shove it aside and just get through some of my tasks for the evening. I can't afford to get. I've already spent too much time this evening crying. I can't afford to spend more time being emotional. So, and I've got a lot to do and a lot to consider before the night is over. So I'm heading back in the direction of Elysium and glancing over my to-do list, trying to figure out what needs done next in the time that I have.
So you head back towards the Elysium. Meanwhile, Janina, you get back to Hotel Bristol.
Yes, I think I'm gonna first go to the Elysium because I think that's where usually Bea is.
So before you can get there,
Um,
you see Józef Krupa, whom you would recognize as a ghoul who was with Roman
okay.
when he was brought in, who is hanging about the lobby area, and he looks to you immediately as you enter the hotel.
I give him a smile.
He comes up to you, and as he's up close, you see that he is very thin, and his hands are very red. They have this dried, peeling off skin, kind of like from cold, but it doesn't seem to be healing. And he looks nervous. He's kind of squeezing his hands and then looks to you. Janina Wozniak, is that right?
Yes.
Józef Krupa, we've met.
Hi.
Sorry, I was told you were out. I was waiting.
Oh, is everything okay? Is Roman okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He's
Are you okay?
He would like to see you.
Oh.
He asked me to, well, look for you, and I failed, but Mariusz there told me that you went out, so I figure I'd loiter.
Of course, I can see him. I want to see him. Let's go then. Thank you
Right
for
then.
waiting.
Well, I've done a lot of loitering. That's a lot of work with Roman. Loiter here and wait, loiter here and keep an eye out. Professional loiterer I am.
You should be paid well.
Just shakes his head. Come on. And he leads you towards a room. And then knocks on the door. And you hear Roman's voice. Yes? And Józef says, That's me. I found Janina. Great. Let her in. And he opens the door for you.
I smile and both at you.
And he kind of starts walking in, and then Roman says, and you can go for a walk or something. Józef just shakes his head, but he leaves.
I give Józef a bit of like a sorry.
He doesn't seem to be like upset by it as such, more just.
I know, but it's not still.
Yeah.
And I look confused at the Roman.
Come in.
How are you
don't
feeling?
look like that. Well, he knows how things are like. And it wouldn't do him good to listen in on our conversation.
Okay, how are you feeling?
I'm great. Look at me. And he's still very much in bed, leaning on the cushion.
Living like a king.
Yes, truly.
Well, I'm glad you seem to be healing.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Left your troublemaking past behind, becoming a respectable Camarilla citizen now?
No, well, trying to.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
So raises his eyebrows and shakes.
I brought my ghoul here. She's currently doing work.
Yeah, I know about your project. Listen, Janina, you really look to be establishing yourself into a stable position.
Mm.
Have your project, have your ghoul working there. I would feel. It's gonna sound like a threat, but it's not. It's concern. It wouldn't be good if something happened, if you fucked that up somehow.
Oh, don't worry about me.
And that's what friends are for.
Oh, it's true. Everything's fine.
He sighs very deeply. Listen, I surprisingly didn't ask you to come here to give you a sermon.
Oh, that
Although I
is
think I'd make a
surprising.
pretty good preacher, street preacher of sorts.
You can do it when you will be retired.
I don't think there's retirement in our world, Ger.
Oh, you can dream about that.
No,
It should
I
be.
make a point of not dreaming of impossible things. It can only lead to pain and disappointment.
Yeah, but I'm still young. I like to dream.
Well, that's fine, I suppose, as long as you only dream of certain things, okay?
Sure. So, why did you want me to see me? Is everything okay? Do you need help?
I'm okay. I'm recovering. My sire wants me to recover. She's actually concerned. Well, she would never show it, but I know she's concerned. And I lost two of my friends, so, that's
I'm very sorry.
fucked up. But it only makes me want to hunt down whatever fuckers are doing that all the harder.
Are you sure that they're gone? Couldn't they just be hiding?
Well, they haven't resurfaced so far, so I'm assuming the worst.
Okay.
If they come back, I'll be nicely surprised, but well, not hoping for unlikely things either.
I understand. I'm sorry for your loss then.
Just kind of takes a moment, looks down. But listen, I want to talk to you about Bea.
Yeah, I was actually looking for her. I wanted to talk to her.
Good, you two should talk. You two should talk more from what I hear. She seems fine, but
I don't know, she's been very busy lately.
Do you know what she's up to? Do you know what she got herself into?
She's doing something for the Camarilla. Do I know that she works with Mr. Sarnowski now? I don't remember.
I think we've definitely mentioned before that I've done work with him. I don't know if it's. I don't know whether I've said that I'm directly working under him.
I don't think necessarily. I don't remember for sure, but I think it might have just not been.
Yeah,
I think you know that she's done some work with him, so it might be continuing, might not.
Yeah. She's just, I don't know. I'm not really sure what she's up to, but whenever I ask, she just tells me that she's very busy. And she is.
I'm sure she is, from what I hear, and I don't know everything, but I hear things. I know for the fact she's working with the Tremere. She admitted that.
Yeah, I know.
And I know she didn't want. Well, she wanted to do some tasks and feels very obliged to do it. I think it's something to do with the prisoner from back when they attacked the hotel.
Okay.
She had Tremere supervisor put on her.
All right. Well, I know that she worked with Mr. Cernovsky before, but I don't really know like the details. I just know that she was very concerned.
Listen, she doesn't seem. I know she can put on a good face.
Yeah, she can.
She's not well. She seems very stressed. Her sire fucked off to the Sabbat, and I was never very fond of. Well, I was fond of Felicia at some point. I wasn't fond of her from a certain point, but she kept Bea somewhat grounded. And
I know.
I don't know what the fuck she is doing, but it's not good for Bea. And she feels very strongly that she has duty, and well, it's fine, I suppose. We have jobs. I feel I fucking hate my duty. It would do have some good to hate it some more, I would say. To just tell someone to fuck off, even in her head, from time to time. I'm worried she's volunteering for things she shouldn't be volunteering for.
I'll try to talk to her. It's just very hard because she's very good at hiding things from me, and I also don't really know how to approach it when I don't know. I just feel like she wouldn't consider my advice as much as someone else who is more in line with respecting duties and stuff, because I don't care about that.
Maybe. But you care about her.
Yes,
and she cares about you. I know that she does.
I know. I'll try to talk to her. And
you should, look out for each other.
I know. I neglected her a lot lately with Hannah and everything else that has been going on. I'll talk to her. I'll try to.
Do that.
I will, promise.
I think she needs someone.
Yeah.
She's stubborn as fuck, and she won't admit it. And she thinks she's so reasonable and has it all figured out, but she's a stupid kid just like you.
I know.
She's just stupid in a different way.
Yeah, she's just stupid and hardworking at the same time.
Yeah. It's not that you're not hardworking, Janina. I know you're doing good work on your project. I hear things on that too.
I know, I just, as unlike her, I just don't consider duty to be above all.
Yeah. Neither do I. I want to make it through alive, and I consider that above all.
All right, hopefully I'll catch her and I'll be able to talk to her. Maybe I could talk to Antoni, and I know she
Don't talk to Antoni, he's the sheriff.
I know, but
Janina, I know they're together or something, and that's good. I hope that's good. I hope that's good for both of them.
So what do you want me to do? Just talk to her?
Talk to her.
I'll try, but I feel
Antoni, well, if he could do something and cares about her, he would have done it.
Okay, fine.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the man that well. Talk to him if you think it will do some good.
I don't know. I just feel like he's someone she would respect more. If he's told her not to do it.
I don't think the sheriff is going to tell her not to do
Sheriff
a task
might not,
for
but
the
her
Camarilla.
boyfriend might be.
Oh yeah, Nina. I wish people were this good. Maybe, I don't know. Good
That's
for
fine.
her in either case.
Well, I guess if it's all, I'm gonna go find her.
Find her, talk to her first.
And I was also wanting for you to meet my goal. I want her to. I slowly try to let her introduce to my friends, and because she was very concerned and nervous about Kindred.
Well, I'm not sure if a handsome fellow like me is going to make her less nervous.
I would prepare her in advance, but you're my friend, and I love you.
Love you too, kids. Just, it's not exactly, hey, we're not monsters sort of look.
I know, but I think that's good for her to see that even if you look like a monster, you don't have to be one.
Wow.
She's with me, so she will
I'll
have
try
to
to behave.
learn to love you anyway.
Right, well, bring her in.
Right now she's at the hospital, but I'll bring her maybe tomorrow. Hopefully you'll still be here.
Right, Janina, just, one thing. I'm not gonna name anything. I'm not going to preach or give a sermon, but Hannah, hospital, your project, your goals. Just remember that as you go through your nights, one after the other, just remember that.
I'll try to.
And now go and talk to Bea, and maybe you can even each other out in some way.
I hope so. I miss her. And I give Roman a quick hug and kiss on the cheek. And
you leave him there. And where are you headed?
I'll try to do Elysium again because I didn't made my way there.
So, Bea.
Yes.
You made your way to the Elysium.
Yes. I've just been kind of glancing through my to-do list, and I need to speak to Janina, and I need to speak to Edvard. I think. What time is it at this point? Because I've got until I know I'm meeting Gravedigger at midnight, and I need to double check rooms and how to get presumably a wheelbarrow with a body in it.
You still have some time to do this. You don't have to get started on it right now.
Okay. In which case, I think I've probably sat down in Elysium, and I'm sort of going through my notes and just kind of calendaring out my evening. 11 p.m. arrange a corpse to be transported inside, or that sort of thing. So yeah, I think I'm just in Elysium going through notes.
And Janina, as you get to Elysium, you see Bea there, looking through her journal, taking some notes, looking through them.
I think I stand there for a moment, just watching her, and I just sigh a bit and walk up to her and good evening.
Evening.
I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. No. How are you? And I sit next to her.
I'm all right.
Are you busy?
I'm just doing some planning at the moment. Shall we head back to?
Yes, I want to talk to you in private.
Oh, okay. Well then, I close my journal and head out.
And I lead her to, I guess, for my room, because I know Hannah's not there. So.
And you get there, no problem.
So I was talking with Roman, and we're both worried about you.
About me?
I don't think we spoke very much lately, but I know you have been busy and you don't tell me about your work. And even though Roman noticed that you're very stressed, and I don't know, I'm worried. What's going on? What's the work? Why are you not talking about it? It seems like it takes a big toll on you. I thought that it was just like that you're overworked, but I don't know. I feel there's something more.
Look, Janina, there's a lot of things on my mind at the moment. And I think I go and I sit down on the bed.
I sit next to Bea.
And part of it is the work. Part of it's who I'm working for.
And Roman told me that your work has something to do with Arik.
I think I looked surprised that he said that to her, and I'm possibly trying to contain it, but I'm a bit frustrated that he shared that. But
Roman gets crossed off her list.
No. He's not rage yet. Yes, it does involve him. So.
I know you two were together in a coterie before, so I understand it's probably part of why it's so hard on you. But I feel like I've been neglecting you, and I just thought you were just overworked, and I glossed over it, and I didn't seem. I guess it wasn't a very good sister, but I'm here now, and I'm sorry. I just want you to know that you can talk to me about your work. I'm not gonna think it's boring.
Might.
No. I want to know what's going on with you. You're not alone in this. You don't have to be like stressing yourself over. Like, I know I'm not the best person to give advice, and especially not like about Camarilla work, but I care about you and I want to know what's going on, and maybe I could at least be someone who gives you another side, like another look at things. You don't have to pretend, or like with me you don't have to worry about duty, because I won't judge you for not wanting to fulfill your duty.
I'd like to roll self-control so that I can touch her.
Difficulty 6.
I have 2 successes. So, sort of towards the end of her sentence, I reach forward and take her hand. Thank you. And I've missed you. And
Miss you too.
I've just, I don't know. I mean, like I said, the stress is a mixture of the work, the people, trying to maintain my own memory, and I've also been very worried about you and trying to keep an eye on you as best I can, but I don't feel like I've been doing a good job at that on top of everything else that I have.
You have been doing very good.
Have I?
Yes, you kept me grounded, and I'm safe. I'm trying to be.
Are you?
Yes. I mean, yesterday, well, I guess I should tell you because I don't want to keep secrets from you, but yesterday while I was at the hospital working with Magda and Hanna, Nastya called me. She summoned me and I met her. And it's fine, like I was safe. There wasn't like, we were just dancing and spending time together. I tried to talk to her, but she just wanted to be with me and she didn't want to talk about the future or stuff like that or what she should do. But I had to like warn her about the bloodhound on her. But yeah, that's it. But
Well, thank you for telling me. Janina, first things first, you need to be more careful about where you have those discussions, because I already knew. I overheard you talking to Daniel yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry, but he couldn't let me.
I know, and I needed to talk to you before anything came out of it. There's other people that can hear these things, Janina, and I care about you. I don't want you to get into trouble, but other people will use that as an opportunity. So just, if in the future, please be careful where you have discussions like that.
Okay.
I just...
Thank you for looking out for me. See, you're doing a good job.
But the thing is, Janina, Antonia and I have both been worried about you, about what might happen if Nastya came back into the picture, if you were to get involved with her again. We both care about you, and neither of us want for him to have to do something about it.
I know.
So I think it might be a good...
It's not like I was looking for her.
I know you didn't look for her, and I'm glad that you weren't. But I think that maybe you should tell him about what happened. Because if it comes out later that you've hidden it, that Daniel hid it, that I hid it.
All right, I'll tell him.
Thank you.
I just want us to be safe, even if we won't be together.
I understand wanting to protect people.
I've asked her about Felicia, and she's there. She's seen her. I asked her to keep an eye on her and make sure she's safe.
And I'm very torn when she says this, because on the one hand, I desperately need to know that she's okay, and on the other hand, oh my God. I'm torn between the sort of needing to be with Felicia and needing to know that she's okay and wanting to be closer to her, and almost wanting to tell her, don't tell anyone about the Nastia, so that Nastia can bring back more information about Felicia. But then there's also my duty and the fact that no, that's not appropriate. So I'm just quite torn there for a moment, and I think I'm sort of fighting back emotion. Right.
I just thought I would ask because I know you care about her. And yeah, I don't think we have another options to just ask someone on the inside.
Well,
what about your job? Is there anything I can do to help you, to relieve your stress? Like, I want to help you.
I guess I should probably tell you more about it.
Please do. Let's not have secrets.
I guess part of the stress has been I've been worried about telling you because I love you so much and I want to keep you safe, and you're very reckless. I know that the moment you feel that someone that you love is in danger, that you will jump at the drop of a hat to protect or try to save us. And the work that I'm doing is dangerous. And I'm trying to take precautions and make sure that it's not going to hurt me, but it is dangerous. And I understand. The last thing I wanted was that if something happened to me, that you'd end up getting hurt in the process because you felt you had to save me. So that's why I've kept it from you.
I understand that. But you're not alone in this, and you can trust me. I'll try to be reasonable.
Okay. I'm working to get closer to the Sabbat.
Are you talking with someone in the Sabbat? And what's Arek's part in this?
I have permission to, in future, the Sabbat wants him back. The Sabbat wants him out, and I've made several promises that I will bring him back to them. And I have permission from the Primogen that if that's necessary for gaining the trust of the Sabbat, then that's what I should do.
I see. So, but will he really be released, or is he gonna just be used as bait?
I think he's getting released, I'm pretty sure, because it's not him that they care about. They're looking for an opportunity for something bigger, I believe.
How are you feeling about that?
I mean, scared. It's the Sabbat. But I want for us to be safe again. I want for the city to be a safer place. And if I can help them to get an opportunity against the Sabbat, then I've got to do it. But it's dangerous and it's hard, and I'm worried about losing myself in the process.
Is there any way I could help you to be less stressed about it? Is there anything I could do?
Help keep me grounded.
I do.
Janina, when I'm going there, I need to make sure that no one can read my mind.
Mm. That must be so stressful for you.
It's confusing. I keep telling myself lies about why I'm doing it, convincing myself that I'm a traitor. And then only when I read my journal again afterwards do I realize that actually I'm doing it for the Camarilla, and it gets messy and confusing and it's scary. But
I can imagine how that must feel.
But it's a way to keep me safe, so that if they look into my head, they don't see any signs of betrayal.
I understand. But could it be that there's also a part of you that really wants to help Eric? Because he was your friend.
Yes. I resent him, but he was my friend. And I spent so long thinking that he'd wanted us all dead, but he didn't. He didn't want us all dead. He wanted me to escape.
I bring Bea closer in a hug if she lets me. And I comfort her. You're a good person. Of course
Am
you
I?
care. Yes, you are. You are.
I'm not convinced that's the case, but...
Yeah, I know you are a good person. If you wouldn't have such a hard time with all of this.
Maybe.
But if Arek's getting released for real and he's gonna be free, then I guess you are doing it for him a bit. So it's not a complete lie.
I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, so I think it's maybe better if I don't.
I'm sorry, I know that working with the Trinity, it must be very hard for you. I know that Mr. Sarnowski isn't a good man, even like his own child, Magda. She works with me now in the hospital. I think she's scared of him.
I'm not surprised.
And she wants to please him so bad. I can't imagine how it must feel for you to work with him when you were used to work with Mr. Lubomirski, who were more, I guess, understanding and humane, I guess.
I at least felt like Mr. Lubomirski had some of my interests at heart. And like, he would advise me. He gave me advice about my well-being as well as how to do the task. I wasn't scared of him.
I understand.
I wanted to please him because I respected him, not because I was afraid of failure.
And just please, whatever happens with your task, please don't put Camarilla before your well-being and your life, because
I'll try.
It's not. You should also think of yourself, especially now you have Anthony, and you should be here for him. You have me. And you have other things than duty.
You know, he offered to get me out of it.
You should have accepted. Maybe you still could.
No,
Like he's the
I
sheriff.
can't anymore. This was a while ago.
Well, maybe I put you in torpor and then you wouldn't be able.
Well, I suppose that would be a method, but you know, I feel like he might also have things to say about that. At least I hope. But
please, just I don't want you to feel like a failure if you won't end up doing the task in a way that you want, or if you will have to choose before you're safe in front, but between your safety and the Camarilla, please choose your safety, please. We can live without Camarilla. We can just be together and run away, but if you won't be here,
where would we go?
We will be keeping you in line. You know Daniel can do it on his own. I'm a two-man's job.
Well, there is that, I suppose. But you also have people that care about you, and
I'll try not to be reckless, and I'll talk to Anton. And I'll tell him what happened last year.
Thank you. It's just
I trust him.
the last thing I want is for you to get in trouble for. I don't know. I don't know.
Please don't worry about me right now. Like I'm really trying to.
Well, unfortunately, I'm your sister, and I'm going to worry about you regardless. So.
Well, I'm worried about you as well.
Well,
so.
we can both be worried about each other then. So.
Well, at least we won't be. We should like worry about each other and not about our own stuff.
Yes, maybe we do need to get better at doing that.
So
and I sort of lean over and rest my head on her shoulder. I've missed you.
I missed you too. Like I feel we've been so distant, even though we talk to each other almost every night. It's good to have you back.
It's been a lot, and I just feel like I've been juggling a bit too much.
You were, but you should realize that you have people who can help you to lessen your burdens.
As I was saying to Roman earlier, I'm trying, and I should also show her the notes of loved ones and allies and whatnot. And so I'm trying. I'm bad at this.
The list, and that's probably a longer list than mine. So that's.
Are you sure? I feel like you have many people that care about you.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I feel I have you, Daniel, Roman, Dominic, Hannah, and I guess Magda wants to be closer with me.
I would maybe put some caution on that one.
I know I'm trying to be cautious.
Yes.
But at the same time, I feel so bad for her because.
And that's
feels
well and good, but that does give her something she can use. And her sire will encourage her to use it.
Well.
So you can be friendly with her, but you don't need to let her close.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my distance.
Yes. I try and think of other people in Janina's life that care. What about Isidore? Aren't you close with him? Or closer?
Well, I am, but he's dealing with his own stuff, and he's a busy man right now.
Yes, well, we're not stacking them by busyness level. Otherwise, I'd be a lot lower on the list.
I know now, but I'm you and Daniel, Roman, and Dominic and Hannah are the closest people.
I will say that looking at the list, Janina wouldn't recognize Edvard.
I think maybe you told. I think Bea told.
No, I don't know that I have.
Because I think, well, maybe it was like with someone else. So because I think
I'm now done.
but
I don't think you have spoken between this.
Okay, in that case, I'm just who's Edward?
Oh, I've adopted a ghoul.
Oh, so you also have an adopted ghoul. We are both adopted.
Yes,
adoptive moms.
I suppose so. I think that's another job for this evening, is going and making sure he's doing all right. Because
okay, if you want to help me with that,
I appreciate that. I think he was needing some space last night. It was still very fresh, the loss. So I think I'll give him a couple of nights to just acclimatize to changes, and then we'll maybe talk a bit more. But I'm sure I'll introduce you.
Yeah, if you want some work for him, you can't always bring him to my hospital, and he can work with my other ghouls.
I mean, I think he's a driver. I don't know how much experience in a hospital he has.
Well, Hannah had none.
Well,
I know. I mean, or maybe they just could socialize. We should introduce them, actually, Hannah and your Edward.
Start a book club. Maybe. Maybe that would be good for them to have.
Because Hannah's really is having a good relationship with Mr. Potocki, Zygmunt's ghoul that I adopted.
I'll see about it. When he's feeling a little bit more like talking to people.
Sure.
I write it down in my journal.
Okay, good. Because I'm trying to slowly introduce her to people. She knows Magda and you and Daniel, and I really want to introduce her to Roman while he's not as busy. But I want her to make sure that she's gonna be okay with the way he looks and stuff.
Oh, right, of course, yes. That makes sense. You've spoken to Roman since?
Yes, I spoke with him tonight.
Good. I'm glad.
It's nice to see him relaxing, enjoying his days off.
I wish he wasn't in quite so much pain, but I suppose whatever keeps him out of those damn tunnels for now.
Yes, at least here he's safe.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'll make a note to see if Edvard would be up for. Would be interested in some company. But yes.
Do you realize, Bea, that it is becoming time to go pick up what Gravedigger left for you?
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have to go in a moment. That worker, unfortunately, the next step is happening at midnight, so.
Okay. I think I'm going to try to look for Anthony.
He might be out, but maybe if you leave a message with Mariusz or go to the offices, then maybe someone will know where he is.
I'll do that. I'll check the Elysium, and if not, I'll leave a note with Mariusz.
You can always pass it on to Joanna, his ghoul.
Oh, Of course, yeah. And I feel very
And Bea
bad.
doesn't remember, but you do.
Yeah, I do.
It's your turn to feel guilty.
Yeah, and I feel like guilty, but I try to like, I don't want to, in front of Bea, like reminded her extra like stress what happened with her boyfriend a while ago. How I caused him so much grief.
You did do that.
So I just say yeah, and I say have a good night, and please don't be a stranger. I want to know everything about what's going on once you are finished with your stuff. I'm not gonna go anywhere tonight. I will be around the hotel, either in my room or in the Elysium or somewhere. So please, let's catch up in a few hours.
See how soon I can get through my tasks.
Okay,
That's
I'll leave you. And I go look for Anthony, I guess first in the offices. Or in the Elysium and the offices.
You don't find him in the offices or in the Elysium.
Okay, in that case, I will go downstairs and leave a message with Mariusz.
Mariusz says good night, hello to you, and then says that I believe Mr. Bielecki has been out yesterday and today, but I will pass on the message that you're looking for him.
Thank you so much. And I guess I'm gonna...
And as you're doing that, Janina, how are you feeling after talking to Bea? Did anything change?
I feel good about like talking to her, and I feel closer to her again. And I don't know, I feel like I know I will still try to like protect Nastya. I don't know, I'm very torn. So I just try to make it day by day decisions. But I know that if like come to it and like Nastya arrived here and they tried to kill her, I would definitely try to help her. I wouldn't just like look the other way. But I don't want to actively look for her right now.
And with those thoughts, I assume you're heading somewhere back into
probably
Hotel Bristol.
Back to my room. I think I had enough socializing for today, and I'm just gonna be waiting for Hannah.
All right, so you start heading back there. Meanwhile, Bea. What's in your head as you finish the conversation with Janina?
I'm feeling that sort of relief that some of the secrets are loose. I'm hoping that this was the right call, but I think just the sheer level of overwhelmedness that I've been experiencing, I think it just wasn't sustainable. And removing hiding things from Janina is just a good way to sort of lessen what is on my plate. And I think also I'm also glad and feeling closer to her, and I'm glad that she came to me about Nastya, and that she agreed to speak to Antoni, because I didn't want to be the one to break it to him. But I think that if she'd refused, I probably would have had to, because I don't want to hide things from him. So I'm glad that I didn't end up getting put in that position. I just hope that she follows through and that we can work to keep her safe. I'm tired and quite burnt out, but I'm feeling a bit lighter after how this evening has been going so far, for the most part. but now I need to go deal with probably a body in a wheelbarrow, so I'm not really excited about that.
No. So you head out.
I think if I had time, and that was something I was trying to schedule in, was check the sort of exit entrance between RX holding boiler room and the sort of more subtle side entrance.
So it's like this. There is a side entrance where you brought Roman in.
Yeah.
Which would be the best one to use, probably still. And then to get to the boiler room where Arik is, you have to go through some corridors. It's not a massively long walk, but, well, it would require, you can't carry a body on your own.
All right. And how much time do I have before, roughly speaking, before the drop-off is made?
Well, you should be heading, after checking out the corridors, you
should just be heading straight there.
You should. Well, you maybe have like a moment, a little bit of time, depending on what you want to do.
I guess if I could grab something to cover.
Yeah, you can grab like a
sheet or something.
I don't know. Yeah, like a
tablecloth. Yeah.
That's easy enough. Like to pick something up, you have time. If you wanted to go off, speak to somebody, that would probably.
That's fine. I figured that was probably. Yeah. Anyway, so I will do that and just kind of have that under my coat. And leave the side entrance unlocked. I mean, I could probably pick it if necessary, but easier if I don't have to.
You can prop it with something, leave it unlocked.
Yeah. Get like a doorstop or something.
Yeah. No problem at all.
Okay, and then I'll head to where we agreed to drop off.
So you're heading not far from the hotel, but a little bit into the area where you actually hunted. Recently, you check your notes, what you have written down. You follow down towards the river, take a left, take a right, take another right, then step into some of the rubble, walk through one ruined building and get to the next one. And there you see a wheelbarrow covered with some dirty cloths, a little bit of rubble in it.
I peel back the cloth.
You see two bodies lying there. There is a man and a woman. They are young, of similar age, maybe like late teenage years. The man is wearing a clearly nicer shirt that now it's stained with dirt and blood. The woman is wearing makeup, earrings, again a nicer dress. And they're just lying there, and on their bodies is a piece of paper, and in a little bit of blood there is written the next one in 2 days, and a little map drawn to indicate where from here you should expect the next delivery. And as you're looking at that, I would like you to roll your conscience.
Oh boy.
Difficulty is always 8.
I have 2 successes, including a 10.
So, you realize that these 2 young people would have been alive if it wasn't for you making a deal with Gravedigger to deliver you blood, and that you are responsible for their deaths.
I gently pull the cover back over them and just stand there kind of staring at it. I think I'm just holding the map in my hands and I'm kind of staring at the map, but there's sort of like this emptiness in me as I'm staring, not really seeing what's in front of me. And I hate myself, and I know that there's going to be another possibly couple of deaths over the next few nights. And that's also going to be me. That's also going to be part of what I've done. And I really hate myself.
And you just stand there for a moment. And I think that is a good point to end tonight's session. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone who's been watching. We really appreciate you being with us here and hope you enjoyed this episode of The Ruins of Warsaw. We will be back in 2 weeks, which is going to be, I believe, the 9th of April. It will be 6:30, I believe, British summertime by then. And so we hope to see you again here to see what happens next between Bea and Janina and with the dead bodies that they got delivered. And yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And until then, stay well and good night.
Good night.
Good night.